This time here, I'd like to call the Coventry zoning board of review to session. I will point out the fire exits are to your rear only. These two exits take you into the building, so fire exits are to your rear only. I'm gonna have the secretary please call the roll call.
Len Doig,
Present.
Keith Cloutier,
Here.
Bob Crow,
Yeah.
Russ Locklade, Ed Ionati,
Yeah.
Russ Pelletier.
Here.
Ron Pelletier.
Okay, great. All right, let the record reflect that we have a full board, okay, at this time here, I'd like to, Keith, you're familiar with the, let's see now, the ratification of the decisions for, I don't think I was here the last one. Oh, Russell was in charge. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna approve the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. All right, Mike's on purpose. Hello, can you hear me now? Okay. All right, so we approved the minutes of the last meeting. At this time here, I think, Russ is gonna take over the meeting with ratification of decisions.
Okay. Mr. Chairman,
Yep,
ratification of decisions, Joseph Mops and Lynn Mops, owner, Laura Mops is the applicant. Location is AP 57 Lot 8, 210 Pine Haven Road, Zone RR2. The applicant was seeking a dimensional variance to construct a new single-family home 15 feet from the front setback where 35 is required.
I make a motion, we approve as presented, ratify as presented.
Second.
okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Next, application to be ratified, Russ?
Philip Theroux, AP 49, Lot 38, 220 Shady Valley Road, Zone RR2. Applicant is seeking a special use permit and dimensional variance for an existing carport 12 inches from the side property line, where 15 feet is required.
Okay, do I have a
Make a
motion?
motion, we ratify as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Nays, ayes have it. Okay, Russ, the next one?
Lightning Ridge Farm Incorporated, Chris Clark. AP 317, lot 73.1 and 73.6 Ledge Road, Zone RR3. The applicant is seeking a dimensional variance to reorient the boundary line between lot 73.1 and 73.6 from a north to south boundary to an east to west boundary. The reorientation of the boundary adds some land area from lot 73.1, where it is bisected by wetland, to lot 73. The variance would reduce AP 317 lot 73.1 from 3.94 acres to 3 acres. And the 0.94 acres will be added to the one existing lot at AP 317 lot 73.6, currently 1.45 acres. The additional land will result in AP 317 lot 73.6 having a new lot area totaling 2.391 acres, which is below the minimum requirement for that area in the rural residential 3 zone.
I make a motion, we ratify as presented.
Okay, motion's made and seconded by
Second.
Ed. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Okay, underneath old business, we have owner applicant Matthew and Keller Jester. 105 acres of Pine Road. Applicant is seeking a dimensional variance to construct an accessory dwelling. Unit 37 feet from the property line where 50 feet is required. Okay, the applicant's here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Swarsa from Coventry Survey Company, 46 South Main Street, Coventry, representing the applicant Matthew Jester.
Okay, is the applicant here?
The applicant is here.
All right, I need the applicant to come to the podium, give his full name and address.
Sure.
My name is Matthew Jester. My address is 105 Acres of Pine.
Okay, I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Are you also, gonna give testimony? Okay, I'm gonna have you raise your right hand too. Full name and address?
Sam Swarsa, 46 South Main Street, Coventry.
Okay. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, as long as reported?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do you need anything else, Kevin?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
So yeah, this is a proposed garage with a accessory dwelling unit above it. It's at 105 Acres of Pine Road. Assessors Plat 57, Lot 34. 17,906 square feet. It's in the RR2 zone. It's an L-shaped lot, and it's non-conforming to the zone. The site's currently cleared, and they're building a 4-bedroom dwelling. Currently, it's under construction. We're here requesting dimensional variance for rear setback. Required setback is 50 feet, proposed setback 13, so the relief requested is 37 feet. The proposed garage ADU is going to be 24 feet wide by 35 feet deep. It's going to have 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, and it's going to be serviced by a private well and on-site wastewater treatment system.
Please.
On our old business sheet here, it's telling us that it's 37 feet from the 50s required.
Right, they're seeking 13 feet of relief. So they're,
That's
no, it's, so he's seeking, I'm sorry, he's seeking 37 feet of 37 feet of relief because it's only going to be 13 feet from the property line where 50 is required.
Right.
it's written incorrectly.
No. It's 37 feet.
It says it's 37 feet from the property where 50 is required. So it looks like you just need 13 feet. It's.
So it's just backwards on there.
It's back.
Okay. Is that going to be a problem? No. Okay.
Okay. Just wanna make sure.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's pretty much kind of the explanation I have. If there's any questions, I can happily answer them, or if there's any for the applicant.
I don't have anything.
I've got a question. So it's a,
Please.
it's a L-shaped lot and you have the garage in the back corner here.
Hmm.
13 feet from the back property line, but the front property line, it looks like it's 10 feet. Is that correct? So where does that?
Yeah.
Where does that?
It's
kinda-
actually a side lot line. The
Okay.
front is up by the house, the main dwelling,
Okay, so.
because it's
This is-
shaped like an L. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of established when we were configuring the dwelling. Kind of the setbacks were generated then, and that's kind of what we came up with, and then that has carried to this next part. It's up at the front left corner. Yeah, yeah, the hatch square, yeah.
You have a well on site?
Yeah, the well is down in the corner, just below the new house on the left there.
Right,
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So you will, and then here's your septic.
So what do they have for frontage on the road? Did I see 50 feet?
Yeah, that's,
It's a corner
there used to
lot.
be a little
There's a
dwelling there, like a summer cottage
Yeah.
or something originally. So, yeah, this would be the front of, the lot right here.
So the bottom of the picture is Acres of Pine Road.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, along this, it's a corner lot, so Acres of Pine kind of swings around there.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing is this.
So it goes up.
Oh,
and it
Yeah.
goes this way. Makes sense.
That's where Acres Pine has that end.
Yep, yep, right. I know where it is. And the proposed garage is tucked in.
Yeah.
Just make sure you put your GPS on.
Sure, please.
This is where you come out. It's not where you
On
started
the
and you
lot
won't
line
even know.
where the
what happened to
drive
you.
is going out, the neighbors in front, those two neighbors in front.
Yeah.
Is there trees or fencing or anything they're requesting to block them off from that?
I don't understand.
Or-
I'm not hundred percent
there?
sure. I think there is fencing along the back there, but I'm not 100%
Yes.
on that right now.
It goes like this.
Do we have the map?
Yeah, that line right there. Yes.
Yeah, we should have the whole map.
Is there a fence along?
This is always.
Yes.
So I've been at the point where neighbors will start complaining
Yeah,
that they don't, there's gonna
When
be
you go
traffic.
in almost to the very end, there's a.
You got a back lot.
take a
Yeah,
left-hand turn,
yeah.
and go Straight.
Will something be going up?
yeah. The applicant said there is like a stockade fence,
Yep.
6-foot stockade fence along the back there.
The whole length?
You answered my question.
I'm not sure if it's the whole length, but there is some.
When you
Some
go
back
straight
there.
down.
So they got frontage on
the same road.
the same road, but two different areas.
But I think we'd be okay with doing some screening if need be with arborvitae's or a fence or something like that. I think the applicant would be fine with that.
Yeah, because it should be, I would think the neighbors would want something.
Yeah, and I think they would be fine with that.
Can I ask the question as to why the garage has to go so far down, so far back?
So the way the lot is, there's not much yard space, so they wanted a spot to have kind of like a yard before the garage. Because right now, kind of what you have the driveway, the house, the septic system. So really the only yard is between the septic system and the garage to
Okay,
have the
I'm
kids.
just curious.
That's pretty much what they're, Yeah.
The driveway is gonna be running over the septic system, the way it's printed out here.
it's between it's gonna, no, it's running between the so the septic system is to the north of the driveway. And then the septic tank is to the south of the driveway, so it will run between the two. There'll be an effluent line that runs under the driveway, but there's code for that. Yeah, the septic tank is right behind the house. Yep, and then, but both components of the septic system are outside of the proposed driveway.
This is supposed.
Yeah, that's.
Is this way. So you're coming in this way. It's the very last few houses on Acres
In the
Pine
above
where
ground
it's
septic.
very end, where it loops around and comes back, where you can take a left.
I just got another question. Is that gonna be a rental or is that gonna be for?
For the families,
For the- as
he's
a family
thinking,
dwelling.
yeah, for his mom, that would probably
Okay.
go there, yeah.
But could you make a note on that for the neighbors if, and see what they would want on that line? Just in case something comes up for the guys that we need.
Yeah, we can note to talk to the
All right.
neighbor about that, yeah.
Okay, you have it all staked out where the house is gonna go, the proposed one?
The house is being built, but the garage, we don't have anything for the garage yet.
Oh, so the house is already being built.
Yeah, at the road, yeah.
They're not before us, they're not in front of us for the house, they're in front of us for the garage.
Right, the garage is
Okay.
already, right,
So could you stake out where the garage is actually gonna go?
Yeah.
Garage house,
yeah, we can stick,
that way
one.
if we took a swing by there, we could see exactly where it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say by sometime next week, it could be done. Yeah.
And Mr. Chairman, your favorite color of stakes is red or
Well,
blue?
whatever you want.
Oh, because usually you.
Yeah,
see-
well,
you
usually
come up with a
I
color,
like
so-
red for a structure and green for septic.
Okay, like pink, we do pink.
And
go
it's
with
just
blue.
a shed on the back line. It says, encroaching on the neighboring lot. Is that still there?
Yeah, that's the neighbor shed.
That's the
Is-
neighbor shed on.
Yeah,
on their lot?
right. Yeah,
So is that gonna stay there?
I don't know. that answer. I can try to find out if you want.
I'm just curious, you know,
I agree.
existing shed encroachment, looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, the shed, the fence, there's some clearing encroachment at the road.
Yeah, it looks like there's fence there and the shed, right?
Mm,
They go
yeah.
into the property.
Okay, so you're gonna let us know on that later tonight?
About the moving the shed?
Yeah, if the shed's staying there?
Matt, you want to comment on? This-
That's the
Yeah.
neighbor's shed on your property?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So that's
Yes, so
staying?
he wants to try to have that moved, but he's not probably right at this moment, but at some point he wants to talk to the neighbor about moving that.
Okay. Anything else like that situation on the property? No, okay.
It'd be a good idea to ask him pretty soon. Just,
All right. Okay, do you have any other testimony?
Just that, we could probably have that staked out by Tuesday next week, if that works for everybody. So like from Wednesday on, you guys can go see it. Okay. All right.
Okay, if you don't mind, take a seat so I can see if anybody else would like to speak on this application. Yeah, is there anybody who'd like to speak on this application? Please come forward.
George Brayman. My address is 113 Acres of Pine Road, and my house.
Okay, Mr. Brayman, I'm gonna ask you to come back to the podium so I can swear you in.
That dwelling is gonna be,
Give us
Ridic-
another, raise your hand, please give your address. your
yeah,
phone number and address.
113 Acres of Pine Road, George Brayman.
Okay. All right,
Do
you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I
from
do.
this one? Okay. Okay, so you're concerned about the dwelling.
The dwelling, yeah.
Okay,
The
the
garage, the
dwelling
garage
is-
that they're gonna build with an apartment over the top. I've got a single level house. Most of the neighborhoods are all single level houses. He's gonna build this monster in my backyard, okay?
You gotta realize, we have no power
Yep,
and no say-so on the dwelling. Am I correct?
He's calling the garage the dwelling.
You're talking
He's
about the
here.
garage.
right, the garage with an apartment,
You're not talking about the house that.
No, no,
Well, you're talking about.
right, the one they're building or going to build behind my house.
Talking about this over here.
Yeah.
No?
His house is here.
Yep.
This is the proposed garage with the apartment.
Oh, there isn't gonna be an apartment, right?
That's what he says, yeah.
And plus there's another.
Two-bedroom.
Another 4-bedroom house on the
four-bedroom
corner.
House, plus the original.
No, that's torn down.
So the 4-bedroom here that's being built, they tore down the existing. And then there's a 2-bedroom, the ADU over the garage, proposed garage.
And then there's this other garage.
No, that's the septic.
Yeah, it's a small cottage, single level cottage. Yeah, my daughter's bedroom's in the back over there. We'll look right in the back room. You know, I mean, there'll be absolutely no privacy whatsoever. Why the garage can't be moved forward is beyond me.
now that extension in your house, no, I see.
That's a deck.
That's a deck.
That's a deck, yeah.
How far away from the deck is that?
I don't have the exact dimensions. I do know that they're building what, 10 feet from my property line?
Yeah.
I mean,
George, what numbers you got?
113. Yeah,
So you're saying you'd like to see it move out.
yeah, I mean, he's got all that, move it closer, you know, to the road. I mean, it's like 3 yards long, you know, from the side of the road that I'm on. And the other neighbors are all here.
Yeah, because you got a lot between 109, 109, is it 109?
Yeah.
The ones on the-
Yep,
Vacant lots there.
Bob's here, yeah. Right there.
Would he like to speak to you?
Would you like to speak, Bob? No?
This way.
All right.
George, you know if that vacant lot's buildable? That's between your house and 109.
I don't know for sure. I think it's listed as unbuildable, but I mean, things can change in life. I don't know what, you know, the previous owner, Arthur Baines, died. So now it's in trust, so.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add, sir?
No, it's just that, you know, I posed the garage with an apartment over the top of it, being built so close to my property line. I mean,
I understand. completely.
All right.
Okay, what's the limit on housing height in that area? Is there 35? This is I see 28 feet proposed.
Now with the new rules, we have any, do we have control over this?
You want me to answer?
The ADU.
It may be, just for the board's advisement, this did receive a strong review by planning staff, notably John Studley before he left, who certainly understood the code. He was looking specifically at the ADU component to
Right.
ensure that the use of the ADU did not trigger any need for relief. And it was his conclusion that the use of the accessory dwelling unit did not need relief. Certainly the height of the structure doesn't need relief. So really what's in front of you is just the consideration of that rear setback. So the uses are in keeping with state law
That's what.
as it relates to our
I-
code.
To the individuals. I really had a tough time understanding, and most individuals would. If you could explain that to him,
Yeah.
the accessory dwelling unit is underneath the new rule. I know you're concerned about a garage with a bedroom above it. But from what I understand, in 2023, this is now controlled strictly by the building inspector, because the state passed it, am I correct?
That's correct. State law in this case does trump the local code. The local code would have it that the accessory dwelling unit in this case would not have fit the local code. However, state law in this case supersedes that. The state law does say that you can't regulate the accessory dwelling units as in the way that the local code would. And in this case, state law does trump the local code. So that's why the accessory dwelling unit itself is considered a use that's allowed there by right as it's presented. But certainly the location of the garage and the ADU are within the jurisdiction of this board strictly for the rear setback. And I would say that, there's really what we're talking about is from this gentleman's property, they're asking for relief to keep this as far away from his house. If they ask for more relief, then they would be getting this farther away from his house. I can understand his comment, which is to say he wants to see it moved further towards the main dwelling. That probably wouldn't limit the relief that's being sought. There'd still be some element of relief being sought to the rear setback.
All right, so technically, since this is in front of us, because of the back corner doesn't fit. So this doesn't fit within the envelope.
That's correct, sir.
He's seeking relief for that, for the 13 feet.
He's seeking relief for the 13 feet. And I would say, to be frank, I don't see a building envelope on this property in which you could fit another dwelling that was outside of the 50 feet from the rear property line. Keeping in line on this map, the rear property line is shown to the top of the map, to your north easterly side of the property. I don't see there being an opportunity to put the garage anywhere there without it being within that rear property setback.
That's what I'm thinking. So it don't fit in the envelope.
That's correct. And then that, but they're here seeking your relief for consideration. So I think the thought is that the setback would say that any structure back there, whether it's in the corner or whether it was up close
That's
tighter,
what I'm saying, so whether it's up close, we move it further, we're still gonna have the same
it's
problem.
the same relief you would likely need, whether that structure was closer to the main dwelling or whether it was tucked in the corner of the lot.
It's fat. They've gained. The new dwelling.
We would make the neighbors now.
Correct.
George.
But it still wouldn't fit, would it? It wouldn't fit in the envelope.
You wouldn't have the 50 no matter what. You wouldn't have
That's what I'm
50.
saying.
Right.
You don't have the 50 no matter what.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that they can still move it. Even though it don't fit.
Yes.
Well, they're seeking a dimensional relief.
If we say yes, they
I
can.
think the road is kind of built.
No, it's the house that's being built.
House, okay, all right.
It's
that's-
under construction. This is nothing, there's nothing there yet.
Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, all right, all right.
Just a quick question.
Again, no, if you pull that garage forward, I know the gentleman there. Pull it forward and angle it a little bit so you get the release on both sides. Would get it away from your house? That's what I'm saying. Get it, he would be a proof to that. Get it away from your house, pull it forward, angle it a little bit. So now you get footage all over the place. No, you'll have everything you need on both sides. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but yeah, I have to see it laid out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Have to relay it out on here. But does anybody agree with me on?
Well, I'd like to see myself, if they could move it towards the 4-bedroom dwelling a little bit, maybe in line with that vacant lot.
Right. Yeah, and so if you kitty corner, then you have footage on both the front,
I don't know
no,
about that, but just, you're gonna gain a little bit just because.
I always say, if you're gonna move it
out
around,
there.
just move it straight forward.
move it straight
Yes.
forward. All right.
You're still gonna need a variance though, because.
You're not
Yep,
gonna
no
have-
matter, no matter how you, no
Right.
matter how. it's placed.
That's what I was concerned.
So if you moved it up 20 feet, it would be out of your way. And it'd be in that open lot.
Anything else?
No, that's fine.
Thanks.
It was another lady that had her hand up. I would like to speak. Please give your full name and address.
Tim Canoyer, 155 Acres of Pine Road.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Okay, please explain to us what you'd like to.
The back of my house, the back of my property line will be, if where this is proposed to go is 13 feet away. And
Correct.
I will be having a 2-story structure, similar to Mr. Brayman's concerns. They're going to be looking into my backyard, which I have enjoyed privacy there for 20 years. I understand the state law about the ADU, not very happy about it. But at this point, push the house forward, please. I oppose the relief for this. I'm very confused about the 13 feet and the 37 feet. When I look at that plan, it looks like 13 feet from my property line.
What's your house number?
155. I'm that back, right behind the dwelling. My property is at that back corner, the northeast corner.
Straight on.
Where's she on the map here?
Very end, come to the very end of it. So if you went by it.
Over here?
House facing. House facing.
There are a bunch of beach cottages, maybe not on the water, but in the circle where we live, all of the houses except one are single level dwellings. And it just doesn't seem right that our privacy now has to be imposed on. There's a 3-level or 4-level house going up with garages in 4 bedrooms. I don't know how anybody, I mean, I guess why you want to have another building on your property, but it's going to take away privacy and the beach community feel that we have there. It's going to be looking out at an apartment complex in my backyard where I have my deck, my family comes to visit, I have a hot tub there. It just takes away all of that feeling of enjoyment of my home.
I will go out and take a look at this. Most of the board members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, if they can push it all the way up to the road, there's, however much footage he needs. I heard something here. They don't want the building close to their house. Why would any of us want it near ours? I think I heard that said. Someone mentioned that. So I hope that they can understand that we don't want it near ours. We are good neighbors in that area, and we want to be good neighbors. But this is an imposition on our privacy. So put it near your house.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming up. Is there somebody else like to speak on this application? For it, against it, or just have a question on the application? Yes, ma'am. Please come up. Please give your full name and address.
Liz Minda, 125 Acres Pine Road. I'm down on the water. I'm on the peninsula. I just want,
Okay, I gotta swear you in. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you please spell your name for the record?
Liz Liz Minda, Minda.
Thank you.
I just have a question. How many dwellings are going to be on this piece of property? Are there 2 dwellings? Because by what it looks like right now, there's a garage with, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 bedrooms. It seems to be at least 2 levels, possibly 3, I'm not sure. Is there another dwelling going in that back part with a garage and an apartment? 4 bedrooms? I'm not sure. How many people are gonna be in that area? In that one corner? Are there apartments that are gonna be rented out too on top of the garages? Could you clarify any of this for us, please? Because I'm confused. I don't know.
How is that?
So there's a home towards the front of the property with 4 bedrooms. On the left, on the back side of the property is a garage with 2 proposed bedrooms that they said would be for family members. Yes, family members.
House that's not in question. Does it have garages?
It does. Yep.
Where did he
Yes.
make that?
Right, because of the way the ground is. Yep.
Now, we can't enforce that this rentals or this garage be family members, correct? That can be open to the public.
My understanding of state law is that that's what they are purporting. The applicant has stated that on the record. This is an area of state law that is due to change again. And I think the intent would be eventually that requirement wouldn't be imposed by the state. But that state law change has yet to come, but is anticipated within the coming legislative session. It is anticipated that state law will change again and will remove the requirement that a family member reside in the accessory dwelling unit. That state law has not come to pass. It's only in legislative consideration right now.
Except,
Eventually accept it and stipulate that it has to be family member, even if the law changes, it's done before the law changes, you don't have to think.
well, we can't.
That's
stipulate
correct.
it's a family member.
It can be a stipulation. Yeah, that's correct.
We can,
Yes.
but I thought it was state law.
No, not yet.
Oh, so we can.
So,
stipulate.
let me ask again, are there 2 garages going in with apartments over it or bedrooms over it? Is there a single dwelling for one family?
Can you show on the map? The house they building right,
Correct.
and then they're proposing another garage and her apartment spot. That's it.
Okay.
I got it. That's
This-
what I figured, but I mean, it's a small area for the. a lot
This is the
smaller
house that they are currently constructing, which
Correct.
they have permission for.
Yep.
They are seeking a proposed garage with 2 bedrooms as an accessory dwelling unit. This is what they're here for tonight. seeking dimensional relief because they do not meet the required 50-foot setback.
Well, I want to go on record, I'm opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. There was another lady that wanted to speak up, stand up and speak, I thought, or a gentleman. Yes, please come forward and please give your full name and address.
Brian Leclerc, 117 Pine Road, last name Leco.
Okay. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
Sure.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions. Sammy can probably answer them actually.
Well, you got to address them to the board.
So we got a 4-bedroom dwelling on the property now, right?
Please address it to the board.
4-bedroom dwelling on the property,
That's correct.
2-bedroom proposed. I'm just wondering.
No, 4-bedroom proposed.
Two.
Two in the garage, yeah, but the house has still got 4.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, he asked.
I'm not too familiar with the ADU stuff, but what's up with this, the septic and the well at this point? With that new.
Okay, your
dwelling?
question is what's up with the septic and the
Septic
well?
Septic and the well for the new dwelling.
The septic system is gonna be an above ground, from what I understand.
Is it separate from the main dwelling?
No, they would be connected. The
It's connected.
accessory dwelling unit would be tapping into the same system that the main dwelling unit is using. And that if there's need for clarification, the applicant could speak to that. It would be my understanding that any changes to the amount of effluent and flow to that system would need to be approved by DEM, but that would be a separate decision and a separate review that would be beyond this body.
So there's no approvals.
To my understanding, and the applicant could speak to this if they'd like. I don't think we saw any evidence of any septic approvals for the increase of that at this stage, but that's a piece of information that would be owed to the city as part of the building permit process. So it would be incorporated into the town's review, but it may not be available, or that review may not have been taking place before tonight.
How about the original residence? Was that just a 4-bed septic that was approved?
Yeah, the septic system is right here.
Yeah.
The tank's over here, and then, again, this doesn't mean that they have current approvals. They're showing the line running all the way down.
Okay. And just to verify, I know some people are confused, but the actual variance is on the top side that they're requesting, right? They're
Correct.
requesting a 37-foot variance, not a 13. Is that's correct? Yeah.
They're coming in 30.
Okay. So the back of the property is actually, if we're looking at it like we are now, is the top. Is the top of the property. Okay, so the right side is not the variance, what they're looking for. They're looking for the actual back. So what about the front side of this property? Yeah, like, no, the front side of the secondary dwelling. Okay. All right, so that's. Okay, so we're using the front of Acres of Pine Road, where the garage entrance on the main dwelling, as the front setback for this second dwelling? For the second dwelling? Yeah. Well, technically, yes, but there's actually other dwellings in front of that, in front of where that relief is being asked for. So really what do we have, 10 feet from that secondary to the property line and back of where George was saying? Okay. And so the back is where they're actually asking for the relief because it's supposed to have 50. Okay, I think some people were confused. They were thinking the variance was from the right side. They're thinking the back property was actually the right side because that's the way they'd be coming in. But, yeah, yep. I understood it. I just wanted to clarify it because I know a lot of people were confused on that. So I think definitely has to go back for some sort of, it's maybe move it forward, but create some sort of a buffer zone, something. The neighbors, everyone's saying there's a single level dwellings. There should be some sort of arborvitae's or greens or something that's gonna block this. If it's gonna go forward. And the ADU, I actually like that. I love that law. It sets up a lot of opportunities for people with taking care of families, sons, daughters, mothers, whatever, grandmothers. But I think this relief is a little bit too much for that lot right there. If he can go back and maybe change a few things on it. And get the proper permits for DEP. I think if they're, what else was that? I had one more thing. Let's give it now. Maybe someone else can. Thank you. And
Thank
did
you for
say
that.
John's on vacation? Yeah. That's about, he just emailed me Friday. I was waiting for his reply. That's why he's not replying. All right, thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak on this application? Questions for or against? Anybody else would like to speak on this application? Okay, gentlemen, please step up. Please give your full name and address.
Paul Canoyer, 155 acres of pine.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of the board.
I do.
Okay,
I'm still confused. I was just wondering if it would be all right to walk over to this board or that one. It doesn't matter, just so
I
that
prefer that one because I can see what you're doing.
It's funky.
So, you know, we are, I think we've already established, I'm sorry, this is my property right here. The young lady who has the blue jacket, my wife, so it's still talking about 155 acres under here. We have established there is only one end, one front, which is where the main problem is. It's two-car garage, a two overhead doors below, and 3 living floors above that. Sorry. The variance is gone for the proposed second dwelling place / garage. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm not sure where the variance is because we've had a little bit of a misunderstanding where the front was and where, you know. So what we're looking at, I think, for, you know, some kind of a residential compromise would be something that's taking the second dwelling place and sliding it in line with the property that has no inhabitants right now. And that would, whatever clearance is being addressed, you know, variances, it would alleviate any problems back here if that's the concern. And it's going this way, it's not going to gain a lot, but because the back property line, you know, because it's sloping upward, it wouldn't give much of an advantage, but it's still a low address variance, you know, that'll help situation. I think that would be the closest compromise that we could come to where, you know, somebody's got to give, somebody's gonna have to give more than somebody else. It all, you know, comes down to put it generically, what's going to appease and, you know, satisfy kind of confidence everything, so that everybody's happy. You know, we all have our own individual, you know, ideas that we would rather see, but I'm suggesting that, you know, what was proposed earlier, sliding that forward, would it really encroach much on the yard between the road, and you do have the septic system and the well is there, but the well up here. So you do have the septic system, but you know, the distance is 100. So, you know, you probably got 100 feet between this property line here, the vertical, and this property, second 12. So by moving that, all you're doing is fixing a little bit of septic line. So structurally, or, you know, different sewers, well, all that. Yeah, this falls septic. We're not interrupting anything, but so much, feet of pipeline, what I'm trying to say. And I know, it's more of a personal, private thing on our side, residents at this point in time. So I just wanna clarify that because I was confused as all get go. And I think a lot of us are, maybe less now. But, that does make things clearer than, at least it puts us all on the same page.
All right, so what I understand from what you're saying is that if the dwelling was to be put in the garage with the 2 units above, you'd rather see it farther forward, more towards that empty lot.
Yes, yes. Right now, it's already encroaching on, it's coming across half of that present, empty lot.
Right.
So to move it that much further, how wide is this lot? That's, say
That's
40
50 feet, 40 feet.
Those lots are small. They are small. So if this is only 20 feet, the other half of it, that could be, moved 20 feet forward. And, it'd be a decent compromise, getting the people that are really right behind there. As my wife had said earlier, well, all of the trees have been removed in this whole area, and there was, acres of pine, there had to be 2 acres of pine on that road, on that lot. And I'm not trying to say that the wrong thing was done by taking those trees down, that wasn't an issue. But there is no privacy. What we had for privacy before would have made a big difference in where we're sitting now. It's a wide open space. And it will be, it is going to be totally clear. There's going to be no more privacy for this. We have our waiting that comes to this corner. Our lot only extends into the same property area by 3 feet. So, we have our, we don't even have our. But there aren't anything, speak of. There are 3 pine trees. They're 7 feet tall, but, there's no privacy.
Mr. Clement, did you say the lot has been cleared already?
This lot?
No. Yeah, well, from from the left-hand side of Acres of Pine down to where the proposed new structure is, there's no trees there at all now?
Correct.
Okay.
So, that is the big privacy issue. I mean, it's like the sky is blue and so is that what used to be the tree line. And, it is a big change in what we had and where we moved to, in light of what's going to be, here in our backyard.
Okay. Thank you very much for bringing this up. All right, there's another gentleman, I believe, that wanted to speak. Okay. All right, can we have Mr. Swanza come back, please?
Obviously, we've got some questions. Do you know off the top of your head whether the septic system is designed right now for the addition?
I'm pretty sure what is shown on there, the 10 by 30 is for a 6-bedroom, but we haven't been back before the state yet. We wanted to come to zoning first.
And I don't know if it was said earlier. Talked about it at some time, but what's the, we're asking for relief, but what's the hardship? Why, if we don't, why do they want this?
Well, that we have the hardships listed on the application, but it's mostly the shape of the lot is one concern for putting a garage in. It doesn't make it really work well for the lot. And then the other is the applicant's trying to, there's a growing family and he wants to have a spot for his family members to come to. So that's pretty much why, one is the non-conformity of the lot, one's the irregular shape, and then one's the growing
So usually
family.
when they come before us, you know, there's a reason why they want to build something and they need some relief on it.
Right.
And right now, it's just the anticipation of more family members coming, to camp.
Yeah, it would be yeah.
So my uncle is gonna be living in a dwelling unit, and it's the property line. The front is kind of on an angle, so it's not straight. So we'll talk about that. They're saying I'm renting to people, I'm not renting to people. My uncle's gonna live there.
You said he's in the dwelling unit. Which dwelling unit are you talking? The proposed or the one being built now?
Can you hear me now?
Is it on? The switch on?
Yeah, it says it's on. So yeah, my uncle's going in the proposed. I'm not renting this to strangers or whatever they think I'm doing. I'm renting this to my uncle in the proposed dwelling unit. Not renting, whatever. I'm not renting. They're saying I'm renting. I'm not renting anything. My uncle is moving in the dwelling unit and back. That's
the reason
that's the reason
you want to build the truck.
for family. Yes.
You wouldn't want to build a garage without the 2 bedrooms above.
No. No.
So it's got to be a whole package.
What's that?
Or build a house without.
No. That is for my boat and my car in the back there. The proposed.
Oh, I'm sure you
Yeah.
have something to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, right now, this is what you want.
Yeah.
You don't want to, is there any chance that you can move this forward?
I mean, I'm trying to claim hardship just due to the fact that my kids, I'm raising a family. And if I move this forward, I have no yard. I have no yard at all. And
You have a yard behind that.
I'm willing I mean, they're upset about the privacy, which I totally understand. I'm willing to plant trees in those spots if they'd like. I mean, I'll pay for it. I need a yard for my kids. If I move this forward, I have no yard. Yeah. And then if I move this forward, I can't see my kids playing. So, I mean, like I said, I'm willing to plant trees around these properties in the back. Yeah. I mean,
Sir,
I
you're either gonna have to get sworn in or stop doing what you're doing. And it's okay, we can swear you in.
Okay, please give your full name and address.
Thomas Barboza, 200 Midway Road, Cranston, Rhode Island.
You swear to tell the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in front of this board?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, I am.
Now we.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I come across problems like this occasionally. And this lot, if it was a perfectly square lot, we wouldn't be here right now because we'd be able to have his garage. So we try to come up with a plan where he could have raise his family, have a yard to play in for the kids. It still fit the garage. He has an uncle that needs to live there because he can't take it, today's tough world. He can't go anywhere and just rent his own place. So it's for family use. The pontoon, the whole, Johnson Pond, that's why the garage is there and it has to, he needs the garage for the pontoon. If he slides it forward, it's gonna be hard with the driveway to have any kind of yard for his kids to play in. So no matter if he slides it forward or not, it's still gonna be high anyway to any neighbor. But if he plants some arborvitaes around it on the 3 sides, you put the giant arborvitaes, they grow, before the year plus sometimes, and it will give the privacy that everyone's looking for. The pine trees were there. Yes, it was sad to cut them down, but really the greenery was only on top. You had maybe 40, 50 feet before you had top. There was a couple other trees that were taken down, but they had to get out of the way anyway in order to do this. So, I mean,
but our
planting
biggest
it-
concern is instead of having 37 feet, you're only gonna have 13 feet.
that's on the rear side,
Where is that? That's.
and that
so
comes down to the unfortunate.
37 is required.
Correct.
50.
50 is required,
50 is required.
correct.
So, and then we have to address, it's a big difference. We have to address the neighbors that have been there
I understand.
all this time. And we also got to look at, their privacy too.
I understand that.
So we
That's what,
cannot just say, well, we're concerned with just you know.
No, I understand, and they were asking for what the hardship is. He just hasn't been down this road before, so he's new to all this. But, I believe by addressing planting the giant abrevieties will give them the privacy they're looking for.
Right, but we cannot control that in the future when he sells the house. You know what I mean? We want to be able to have something that also addresses the neighbors too, that are
Okay.
already there.
Yeah, because if you pull this forward, the
Yeah.
kids will have the whole back lot.
But then you can't watch your kids playing in the back.
Well,
What if, today in the crazy world we live in today,
Yeah.
who doesn't want to leave their kids behind the garage?
but you've got neighbors too, you have to consider.
I understand.
So
I
pulling it
understand.
forward would not be, I don't think.
I
anyway.
understand. I understand all of it. I mean, I do.
Bring it as forward as possible.
How about a high fence?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to stake it down.
What a,
But
what
it
a
would
high
even
fence?
make your, electric and everything else cheaper. Because
What-
now you've got to run that all the way down to that other house.
Would a high fence make a difference? So it'd be instant?
I don't think so. I think you're gonna pull that forward. To me, I would want that pulled forward.
My question would be if they're saying to pull it to this vacant lot, but what happens when somebody buys this vacant lot and develops there?
It's already there.
It's already there.
Right, but it's still gonna be in this guy's site.
To me, like, the neighbors would be happier if your building would be just even 10, 15 feet.
I mean, this guy has a 3-foot fence that it's chain link, you could see right through it.
No,
You know what I mean? And this lady has something on my property. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to work with them. I'm not trying to be this jerk that's moving into the neighborhood. I'm just trying to raise a family.
you see that.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you have any other questions? Okay, I do. All right, Mr. Swither. Yes, ma'am, please come up to the podium. Please give your name and address. I know you've already been sworn in.
Kim Kefoyer, 155 Acres Pine Road.
Yes.
I have a picture from my back deck to where the house is right now and how clearly, I mean, that's, I don't know how many feet it is to where the single family dwelling is right now.
We're gonna go see it.
I'm not hearing, I appreciate the fact that these plans have been made and they are excited to move there, just as we all are excited to live there. It's a beautiful place. But if a compromise, a compromise is both parties giving a little.
You're
And
correct.
I don't know. I raised 3 children. I would go and watch them wherever they were playing. So an argument that a yard behind the garage isn't viable doesn't seem like a really strong argument. It's a beautiful place. There's a lot of places to spend time. If that's the hardship that someone needs to go, and personally, I'd like to see it go 50 feet forward, not 10, not 15, and not 20, because it is going to be a tremendous eyesore. And I don't know how big of arborvitae's you could purchase that are going to provide privacy for any of us right behind that dwelling. Because that structure is probably, I'm not great with this, but I'm gonna spitball at least 24 feet high. Looking out the windows, how are you gonna get trees that now I'm standing and hopping in my hot tub? You can see from the second level or third level, actually. The bottom floor is 1 level. There's 2 levels above that. And right now, from the windows, you can see in my sliders. And that's from the primary residence. Never mind this other ADU.
Yep.
So I just wanted to share that. I oppose it.
I think.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, please. Testimony you're gonna give has got to be something different than it's already been presented. You've already given your name and,
Paul Benoit, 155 Acres of Pine.
okay.
Trying to see facts, stay out of the emotional. Take a picture. I'm not gonna tell you. The point that I was making about moving this way, you know, well, across the other side. So, but the reality, the structure, the access from for parking vehicles and accessing from this way. Okay, so therefore we have access to the motorway or whatever is going to be. Therefore, here, so why not? Kids aren't, they might be playing in the driveway half the time. They might be playing in the backyard half the time. Just trying to put that out there. Play around and create the meeting. And the other thing I was wondering is the Lord on the house where not going to be an issue other than relatives.
But that's not in front of us now, because the law is the law now. What's gonna happen in the future, I cannot tell or justify using.
My apologies.
Okay.
That was just something I was going to.
Yep.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
I lost that.
Okay. If there's nobody else who'd like to speak in this application, I'd like to have a motion. We take this under consideration.
Can we just see if there's anybody online that would like to speak first?
Okay, thanks. Yes, if anybody would like to speak online, please raise your hand or speak up or take whatever required motions. No answers? Okay. All right. I believe the board would like to go out and take a look at this here location after it's been staked out, and we'll review this next month.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, you need to entertain a motion to consider and a motion to do a site visit.
I'd like to have a motion. We do well, we always do a site minimum time. We do it individually, not in a group. Okay, but I would like to entertain a motion that we hold this over to next week, next month, and
What's the date now, Terry?
The next meeting date is July 5th.
July 5th. Okay. So Russ has made the motion. Seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Okay. Thank you.
Under new business, the owner applicant is Jenna LaFond. Location is AP 34 lot 882 Eagle Drive. Zone is R20. Applicant is seeking a special use permit and dimensional variance to construct an attached 28 by 24 garage, 6 feet 8 inches from the side property line where 14 feet is required, and 22 feet from the front property line where 25 feet is required. The proposed addition will increase the lot coverage from 43% to 44%, where 20% is required. The existing detached garage will be removed.
Okay, I'm gonna wait a minute here till everybody here that's leaving leaves the building, so we can have a nice quiet meeting and hear everybody.
Keep that out there, please. Mr. Chairman, I gotta recuse myself. Jen is
Okay.
my second cousin.
All right. Okay, give your full name and address, please.
Jenna LaFond, 2 Eagle Drive, Coventry.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Okay. Explain to me what you'd like to do.
So right now we currently have a existing detached garage that resides in the front of the house. Right now it is 22 feet from the front yard setback, and the side yard setback is 6 feet 8 inches, or 6 feet 4 inches. So we're looking to remove that detached garage. Only currently fits like a car and a half. So we'd like to remove that detached garage and reconstruct a 2-car garage with a second story above. The second story above is going to consist of a family room and a home gym and an office. So with moving that connecting it to the house is gonna move it actually a little bit away from the side yard setback, about 4 inches. And the front setback is gonna remain the same, what still exists right now.
Okay. So is, the garage, proposed garage is gonna be any closer to the property line than the existing one?
It's actually gonna be further away from the property line. It's gonna move away by 4 inches in the narrowest location.
So. Okay. I think you're.
It's the same height as the house, basically.
Yep, it's gonna be a little slightly higher, but still under the 35 feet. I think it's 33 feet, 8 inches. I think the plans have drawn up.
All right.
What is the amount of, relief going to?
I want to say it's 3 feet in the front yard setback and
Front property line, you got 3 feet, 3 feet there, okay. So it's not tremendous amount.
And you're not really changing much of what's there.
correct, yep. So it's gonna kind of have the same footprint, just kind of move over to the side a little bit, just because we're gaining a little bit more by connecting it to the house.
It's gonna be more useful as a two-car garage, plus with the rooms up above.
Correct.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the board?
I don't see any problem with it.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna ask you to take a seat and see if anybody else has any questions on
Thank
this
you.
application. Does anybody here have any questions on this application, for, against, or just regular questions on the application? Okay, is anybody online with any questions?
I make the motion we vote on this tonight.
Second.
A motion made to vote on this tonight. I'd like to have a motion for the vote. How do you? I'm gonna start with Lenny. How, you want to vote on this
We have,
tonight?
we have two. Special use and a dimensional variance, right?
Yeah, but right now we're taking a vote.
Just for a vote to vote. Okay. Lenny, okay.
Same.
Keith, all right, I also approve.
Yes.
Ron, yes, Ron?
Yep.
Okay. All right, there is no question about we have a vote tonight, and but we do have to vote on the special use first. How do you vote on the special use? Keith?
I approve.
Okay, Russ,
Prove is presented.
Eddie? Ron?
Approve.
Okay. Approved as presented. Okay, that's a special use. Now, the variance.
Did you vote?
No, I did not vote. I think we have 1, 2, 3.
Right. You have to vote before putting on for it.
Okay, all right. I vote as presented. Approved. Okay, now, variance, dimensional variance. Lenny, how do you vote? Okay, Keith?
I approve.
I also approve. Approve. Approve, and Ron, just for the record.
I
Okay. Okay, that application is approved as presented. Okay, next application.
Next application is owner applicant Stephen and Amy Signer. The location is AP 308 lot 37.2, 399 Narrow Lane. The zone is RR5. Applicants are seeking a special use permit to construct a detached 30 by 40 by 27 garage in the front yard. A dimensional variance is being requested to construct the garage 27 feet in height where 22 is allowed.
Okay, is the applicant here?
Yes, he is.
Please give me a full name and address.
Steven Signer, 399 Narrow Lane.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you. Explain to me what you'd like to do.
We're looking to build a 27-foot tall garage. Reason being is it has 16-foot carrying beams internally in order to put a car lift inside to hold an antique car. We can't build, if we build it, if we are limited to the 22-foot height, we would have a building that has a very strange roof line. We'd like it to match the existing roof line of the house that's there. The house is 1,300 feet from the road, so nobody can see it. It's not visible from any neighbor.
Okay. So why is it only 10 feet wide?
That's what's in the ordinance, because it's a garage, yeah. Yep, no, so narrow lane is out here. Yeah, there you go, Courtney. So here's narrow lane, and then their driveway, and it comes down, and the garage is actually gonna be here, and their home is gonna actually be over here.
Well, it's, everything you're gonna see is garage.
No, not at all.
Closest neighbors a half a mile.
Can you go back up to me and then,
It's a little too
so
close.
then, not quite that high, back it down a little bit. The other way. Down, that's what I wanted. Where is,
The big house is that way, the
okay,
bogs is this way.
and I'm still trying to, I'll get in it, so where is, Perry Hill Road?
Up over here. Cause you're gonna come in off of Perry Hill, you're gonna take a left and you're gonna go down past the big house.
Yep.
And then this will be on your
So that's-
right.
That's where I'm supposed to go,
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
in past the fields?
past the fields.
yep.
Now I know where I am.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised at you, but anyways.
I know 2 or 3 people over there. I've not met. As I called back up.
You know, good mechanic on brass age cars. and so.
Okay.
Yes, Herman Ware.
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if you take a seat, sir, if somebody else has any other questions on the board members. And I'll see if there's anybody who'd like to speak on his application. Is there anybody who'd like to speak in favor of it or oppose it or just have a question on it? You know, just a regular question. And now's the time to have it. Okay, is there anybody online that has a question? No, nobody online. Okay, so I see there's nobody online and nobody here that has any questions on it. I'd like to speak for or against it. I would like to have a. Okay, I have a motion that we vote on this tonight and, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, nays and nays, no nays, okay. So let's, we have a motion to, approve this or disapprove this application as presented.
You have two, one for special use and one for dimensional variance.
We got two, okay, let's use the special use first. All right, so Lenny, how do you vote on the special use? Keith?
I approve.
Chair approves, Russ
I
approves. Eddie?
Approve.
Russ. Okay, and Ron, okay. Okay, okay, now on the variance. Dimensional one, Ronnie? Approve. Keith?
I approve.
Chair approved,
I approve.
Russ, Eddie, Ross,
Approve.
approved, okay. Application is approved as presented. Okay,
Good luck. Thank you.
Next application is Derek Calamati. The location is AP 324 lot 95, 605 Town Farm Road. Zone is RR2. Applicant is seeking a dimensional variance to construct an attached 26 by 26 two-car garage connected by a 6-foot breezeway 41 feet from the east property line where 50 feet is required.
okay, the applicant's here, please give your full name and address.
It's Derek Calamati, 605 Town Farm Road.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in front of this board.
I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Explain to me what you'd like to do.
So we're looking to, on the east side of the property, add a 6-foot breezeway that's going to go into a 2-car garage. We're requesting a dimensional variance because to add this on, that'll put us 41 feet from the 40, we need 9 feet really because we'll be at 41 feet of the property line.
So where 50 is required, so
Right.
you're just asking it for sure for what, 9 feet?
We are, we're asking for 9 feet. We're going on this side because we can't on the other side because our septic system is there.
Now, what's on the 40, where you're only gonna be 41 feet, what's alongside you? What's your closest neighbor or object or?
We're just gonna have, there's just one house that's gonna be the closest to us, and once again, that house will be 41.
Okay, where's that one house? Okay. There's a house over there, huh? Okay, so. Can you blow that up a little higher so I can see it better? They're looking for just 9 feet.
Just 9 feet, yes. Right.
We're off of what road there?
Don't foul pump,
Stone Farm.
past the power lines, past the pond.
Yep.
All right, I don't see anything. You know, 9 feet, it's still gonna be 41 feet away. And I think it's gonna look nice with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's gonna look nice. I'd like to have a motion.
I should sit down.
Oh, that's, I'm sorry. I'm moving ahead of myself. Does anybody like to speak on this application? For, against, or have a question on the application? There's nobody in the audience at this time that would like to speak at all on this application. Okay, I can see if there's anybody online. I'd like to speak on this application. No, nobody? Okay, thank you. Okay, motion's made. Seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Okay, so, this is a dimensional variance. How do you vote on this one? I approve. You approve? Keith?
I approve.
I also approve the dimensional variance. Russ, all right, Eddie? Ross?
Approve as presented.
Ron? Okay. Applications approved as presented. Okay, next one.
You're welcome. The next application is the owner is Narya LLC and Moo Cow LLC. The applicant is EDPRNA Distributed Generation LLC. Location is AP 304 lot 27.1 and 28, 2446 Victory Highway and 0 Victory Highway. Zone is RR5. Applicant is seeking a special use permit to construct a 4.4 megawatt DC ground mounted major solar installation.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Attorney Dane Ardente. For the record, that's DANE ARDENTE. And I'm the attorney for EDPNR and A Distributed Generation
Okay, I'm
LLC.
just gonna swear you in.
Absolutely.
You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you.
Here with me tonight, I have my engineer and expert in engineering, Mr. Jason Gold, who will come up in a minute and testify before you. As previously stated, this is an application for major solar installation, which was approved at the master plan level by the Planning Commission on May 25th. On April 27th. After that, the Planning Commission decided to give a positive recommendation to this board on May 25th, 2023. As previously stated, this is for 2 separate lots, which as a condition of final plan approval will be merged. The whole total area is of roughly 116 acres. Both lots are located wholly in, 116 acres for both lots. I believe the lot 27.1, which is the lot that currently has frontage on Victory Highway, is 33 acres. And the lot 28, which is the currently undeveloped lot that borders to the eastern side of lot 27.1, is 82 and a half acres roughly. Both lots are located in the rural residential district, which does allow major solar installations by special use permit. As a matter of fact, this town requires by Article 22, Section 255-2140C1, all ground mounted solar installations require us to come before this board for a special use permit. So that's why we're here tonight. Very quickly, I'd like to introduce a representative from the applicant, Her name is Nicole Hagpana, and she is over Zoom. I don't know if we can get her up now. And Nicole is just going to speak briefly to the company.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
This is the applicant.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah, my my name is Nicole Hakpana and I'm representing EDP Renewables. I
What-
am the project developer
Nicole?
for Mookow. Yeah.
One
Yes.
moment. Allow the board to swear you in first.
Oh, I'm
Please
so
raise-
sorry. I didn't hear.
Please raise your right hand and.
Okay.
But I'm supposed to have a picture. See if, yeah. I have to see.
Do you have options to your camera, Nicole?
Not that I see here, no.
May she raise her right hand in spirit.
Yes, it's raised.
He's got to bring you back in, Nicole.
Okay.
Yes.
You should have the option to turn on the camera now, Nicole.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Still can't see you.
Okay, one moment.
Now we can see you.
Okay,
Cool.
great. Hi,
Okay.
have my right hand raised.
Okay, you got your hand up. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Okay, and your name and address again, please?
My name is Nicole Hakpana. I work for EDP Renewables. That's 100 Park Avenue, Suite 24, New York, New York.
Okay. What's your position?
Yeah, so I'm the developer for this project for Mookow.
Yeah, what do you with the company for that owns this property?
Yeah, I would just wanted to give you a quick little background about EDPR and a bit about what we do.
What's your position within the company, Nicole?
I'm a project development associate.
Yeah, project developer, okay.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Sure. Yeah, a bit about us and what we do. EDP Renewables is a recognized globally leader in the renewable energy sector. We generate clean, reliable, and cost-effective energy for all communities across North America. We have a community-driven approach. Our teams usually live and work within the project communities, from early development to construction and throughout the project's operational life. We are committed to being a good neighbor, and we're really excited to have this opportunity to build and work together on this project here in Rhode Island.
Okay, this is gonna be for how big? 116 acres?
The total property size for the two lots when they're combined will be 160. The actual size of the solar development, I'm going to have Mr. Gold here give you that information in a moment. I don't want to misstate. Mr. Gold has the most precise numbers at the moment.
Okay.
And at this time, I think it would probably be a good idea to bring up Mr. Gold and get him certified offer him as an expert before this board for acceptance. Mr. Gold has with him his CV for the board if they would like to see that.
Can you go over your resume?
Please raise your right hand.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I,
Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the
I
truth
do.
in front of this board?
yes,
And your full name and address is again?
Jason Gold with TRC, with an office at 404 Wyman Street in Waltham, Massachusetts.
Okay, and going through here, your education as a BS in environmental engineering at Roger Williams University. And I'll have you submit your qualifications.
Yep, that's correct. I'm a registered professional engineer. Been practiced for over 25 years. Worked on many solar projects throughout Rhode Island.
Okay. You wish to just present testimony? Yeah.
Project you can.
Okay.
I would just request that if Mr. Gold's going to present, that he's accepted as an expert in engineering, providing expert testimony.
That's our name. Okay. Now, you said you've been doing this for how many years?
Over 25.
25. So how many actually installations have you reviewed at this time?
Don't have the number off the top of my head, but many.
100, 200, 100, 50, 20?
Solar installations
Yes.
specifically. 20, 50.
20 or 50? Okay. And they have been located where?
They're all listed right here.
There's a sample representative projects that are on the resume.
They're more listed. Well, most of them.
Mr. Chairman.
Representative projects.
I'll
Yes.
second that.
These are solar projects. I've also worked on stormwater projects, site development projects over the
Okay.
past 20
I
years.
have a
Lots.
motion on the floor and to accept as a professional and seconded by Ed. Oh, okay. I have a second by Ed. Any other questions by the board? Is there any questions by any board member? Yeah. Okay. At this time here, does the board wish to make a motion to accept this gentleman as a? Okay, motion made and say, okay, to vote. All right, Lenny, I'm gonna start off with you. Accept. Keith?
I accept.
I also accept. Russ, Ed,
Except.
Ross, Ron.
Mr. Chairman, if you could entertain a motion to make the resume as presented part of the record, please.
Okay, a motion to,
Second.
and seconded to accept the resume as part of the record. Lenny, how do you vote? You approve? Approve. Keith?
Approve.
I also approve. Russ?
Approve.
Eddie? Ron?
Approved.
Russ? Ron, okay. Thank you. I don't.
Thank you,
have-
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Gold, can you explain to the board the proposed alterations and activity that we're proposing with this application?
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Yeah, the project is a approximately 4.4 megawatt DC ground mounted solar array, which is classified as a major solar installation in the ordinance. Access will be from Victory Highway by a existing gravel driveway that will be widened and extended into the back of the property. The project spans both lots. Dana mentioned there's two different lots that will be merged. So it spans both lots, which will be merged to create a 116-acre lot. The proposed array it's 1,200 feet approximately back from Victory Highway. Originally, an original concept that we had presented at pre-app to planning board was on that first lot, close to the highway. They had asked us to move it back. That, in addition to wetlands that are on site, we move that back. So it's about 1,200 feet from the road. The areas that you had asked earlier, so the array itself, conceptually, it's approximately 9.4 acres. It's surrounded by a 7-foot tall fence, which encompasses the array and then also stormwater detention basins. That'll occupy approximately 12.7 acres. And then the limits of disturbance, which includes the driveway, shade tree clearing, and the entire project itself is approximately 16.4 acres. So that's out of the 116 acre lot total. The concept design's been complies with the special regulations for solar power generators. I can list the key items. The panels will not exceed 12 feet in height. The grading is expected to be minimal. All the electrical lines will be underground except for the overhead wire, which interconnects from interconnection to the transmission pad, to the equipment pad. All the yard setbacks are met. That's 100 feet in the front, 85 feet in the side, and 150 feet to the rear. The proposed array coverage is less than the 15% that's allowed by the ordinance. It's actually about 8%. And a 40-foot vegetated buffer of existing vegetation will be maintained as required. The only exception to that is the northern area. There's not a lot of existing vegetation. It's been cut, so that'll be planted to provide the vegetated buffer that's required there. The access road, as you can see, it's angled, it meanders, and that protects from direct views down the driveway to the array, which is also an ordinance requirement. No exterior lighting is proposed. And as the project progresses, the stormwater erosion control, stormwater management and erosion controls will be designed. That'll be incorporated into the preliminary plan design and the design that's submitted to Rhode Island DEM.
Was there a house on this structure, on this property at one time?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So there's a house on the front lot, and that will be demolished as part of this project. It's a dilapidated house. It's not occupied right now.
It's right on the town line.
The property's on the town line. Yes,
Proposed was-
yes.
It's directly across from all old Sawmill Farm.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, the old Sawmill Farm thing is to the western side of the highway. There's some residences along Victory Highway. And then to the south and on the West Greenwich side is another solar development.
Now, all this electricity is gonna be sold back to the electric company?
To the grid. Nicole can answer that.
Yes?
Well, I would say so, but there's no dwellings.
Yeah, okay. I just-
Yeah, Nicole, you still there?
Will you?
This is
have
going
to-
back to the grid, right?
Hi, yes, I believe it's going back to the grid, yeah.
Okay, now, will you have to upgrade electrical out on the road so it can accept this much power going into it?
I haven't seen the system interconnection studies. That's something that National Grid, Rhode Island Energy will be doing. I don't know if that study's been completed yet or not yet. Nicole, do you know, has Rhode Island Energy completed their system interconnection study? Are there improvements required?
I don't believe they have yet, but I can get more information on that. That we're still, in the permitting process. And so I think that comes a little bit after once we take care of this work.
Regardless, any upgrades that Rhode Island Energy makes to their system is not part of this application. We're talking about development on this site.
Well, they've already got the one next to us. I'm sure that the system's big enough to enable one.
It could be, right?
Oh, so there's another one out there?
Right over the one in West Bend.
Oh, okay.
There's one on Hopkins Hill Road too, that big one on Hopkins Hill Road.
Mhm. Okay.
So are the
So
people
they-
in the area gonna use some of this? Or is this all gonna go back?
So I guess it depends what you mean by use the electricity, right? So the way these work is regardless of the type, right? The electricity that's generated goes into the grid, and then everyone's drawing energy from the grid. So regardless of how it's set up, community solar, not community solar, it's renewable energy that gets put into the grid that then everybody benefits from.
Right, anybody that's, you're not even gonna see an interruption or anything, just added to it.
All right, that's
A
what
quick
what I
question,
was interested in.
sorry. The cemetery, is that a historic cemetery?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's actually two right next to each other in the northern portion of the site. It's actually, yeah, if you go to the right,
Where that bump is on the northern, right in the middle.
and there's a 50-foot buffer around that. And that's not anywhere near the project.
That's not near the project.
Right.
Have
you made any provisions for fire protection?
Yeah, so the fire marshal has reviewed this concept plan, and I discussed it with him. So the road will provide fire access. The gate will be locked with a Knox lock, provide fire access.
That's not, that didn't answer the question.
I'm sorry, what was, what was the question?
Did you have anything to do with fire protection? Cistern, hydrant, any of that?
The fire marshal did not ask for that, no.
All the other new systems in town, getting systems. So I'm just curious as to how-
It's, we're at the concept plan stage, so I mean, if he asked for that, I'm sure would,
Just a quick question.
whatever it's required, yeah.
Was the one on Hopkins Hill Road, is that a system? You know,
I don't know what the one is.
all right, yes, as you're going up on the right hand side. it's
In
Oh.
Coventry?
In Coventry.
I have no idea where it is. If I don't.
I think that's West Greenwich.
Is that West Greenwich?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, okay.
problem. Historically, we put an underground cistern for fire protection because, though it's unlikely that this will cause any type of problem as far as fire. They have been known to strike by lightning, but it's very, very rare. There is no water out there, so if we don't bring it on wheels, any type of new installation, there's some subdivision.
Yeah, we'll work with the fire department and whatever they require, of course.
And just as a reminder to the board, we just received master plan approval the 27th of April. So we still have to go through preliminary and final. So those are items that the planning commission may or may not, well,
Down my back.
of course. And we're happy to discuss it with the planning commission when we get there. But as of right now, there hasn't been any discussion with the planning commission on it. So this time I just kind of want to go through the elements required for the satisfaction of special use permit. Some of them may be redundant, but I just want to make sure that Mr. Gold here addresses them for the board adequately. Mr. Gold, can you explain to the board the ingress and egress of the solar array and how it's laid out to account for traffic safety?
Yeah, the existing driveway will be widened to at least 15 feet. It'll be a gravel driveway or crushed stone. That'll meander through the site with a turnaround, a hammerhead turnaround outside the gate and then another one inside the gate.
Thank you. And does this project propose any parking or loading?
No, not once constructed.
How about any glare, noise, odor to adjoining lands?
No, these systems, noise is not an issue at the property line, especially this one that's so far away from all the properties. Obviously, there's no odor from an array, and glare would be. Glare is not usually an issue. They're meant to absorb sunlight, not reflect it. And plus it's surrounded by the vegetated screening anyway.
Will there be any areas for trash storage or areas for delivery involved?
No, not once constructed.
Okay, and in your opinion, do the plans adequately depict all locations, availability and compatibility for the utilities?
Yes, they're shown on the plans.
And what steps in this matter have been proposed so far to take towards providing screening?
The minimum 40-foot screening along the property is provided. And as I mentioned, the northern portion where there isn't existing vegetation will be planted.
And can you explain to the board whether or not this project proposes any exterior lighting or signage?
No exterior lighting is proposed. The only signage would be signage on the fence, emergency contact information, then warning signs on the fence.
Which I believe is a requirement, correct? Does the project meet all yard requirements and setbacks?
Yes.
How about open space?
No open space requirements for the solar ordinance.
Is this proposal generally compatible with the surrounding area, lots in the zoning district it's located in?
Yeah, this commercial use across the street. There's another solar array to the south of it. And it's far back, over 1,000 feet into the woods.
And one of the requirements to satisfy for the special use permit granting is the use will not create conditions that will exceed the industrial performance standards in Article VII. Does this apply to this project?
No, it's not an industrial zone.
One of the elements required asks, what is the general compatibility with the comprehensive plan? And we defer to the planning department on that. The planner issued positive recommendation for this. Planning commission as well issued positive recommendation to this board. It's in conformance with the comprehensive plan. As well, the town council found acceptable to make this a specially permitted use in the area. And Mr. Gold, one last question for you. Will the project be detrimental to the public safety, morals, and welfare of the community?
No, as I mentioned, stormwater management practice will be designed, as will erosion control measures. It will also be designed in accordance with fire marshal requirements for fire protection.
Thank you so much. We'd be happy to solicit any questions from the board at this time or open it to the public hearing. Well, it's always dependent on how things go with the planning commission at preliminary and final, but as of right now, we just passed the master stage, and I would think we have preliminary and final left, so.
I mean, just the actual building of.
Oh, the actual building of it. Okay.
How long does it take from start to finish?
Usually within a year.
Within a year.
Okay, now, how long will this project, what's the life expectancy of it?
Nicole?
20 years with the option to extend
So you have
for
a
additional 5.
plan for removal after 20 years?
Yes.
A decommission plan will be provided.
So a decommission plan will be provided, and that will be, the decommissioning will be performed by your company?
The decommissioning itself,
Yes. Who's gonna perform it?
the decommissioning would be performed in 20 years by, I mean, it's by the owner of the, by EDPR owns the,
Oh, so
you're
the
right, so they're
owner is
responsible for the decommissioning. Right, yeah. I'm the consultant.
You're a
Right.
consultant, but
So EDPR would be responsible for decommissioning it. As part
Yes.
of the application to preliminary plan approval will include a decommission plan that will address exactly how that decommissioning happens.
how it happens and who's responsible.
Exactly.
All right, you have anything else on that suit, aspect of this here? Okay.
So is 20 years a benchmark, or, I mean, you've had solar arrays around for a while, but not long. So is it possible that it may extend to 25 years or 30 years? Or even less than? We don't know about the, with, I mean, if it's still making power in 20 years,
Right.
would there be a reason to decommission? Or
I-
is that the set time limit? you guys
Yeah,
have been-
no, I think Nicole just said with an option for an extension, right, Nicole?
That's correct. Yes, with an option to extend typically 5 years.
For 5 years.
Okay.
So 25 years would be the max. And that's a, Nicole, I'll correct me if I'm wrong, but typically, like, that's the contractual length of it. So after that amount of time, whether it's producing power or not, that's when the contract ends. There's nobody to buy that power.
Okay.
That's correct.
The two owners currently, the lot 27.1, I believe is Narya LLC, that's NARYA LLC, and lot 28 is Mukal LLC.
So in 20 or 25 years, either if this is still efficient or could it be upgraded earlier? The safety efficiency on the panels becomes much better. Would this be upgraded or they'd wait for the 20 years? That's what it
Technology
means.
changes every day.
That's what I'm saying.
The short and simple is it depends. However, the extension of the contract would largely be dependent on the town. So the contract itself would last for 20 years, and that would be a condition of final plan approval. Oh, excuse me, 25. 25 years would be conditioned of final plan approval. I believe after that, we would probably have to come back before the town.
Okay. All right.
So the decommission plans, is that usually like, what's usually involved with that? Is it just take the panels and leave a cleared land? Is it, we have to replace so many trees? Like if this, I don't, is this cleared land right now or is this woods?
A lot of it's cleared now. It's woods, but a lot of it's cleared now, so you can't see it that. Can you switch to the next, I think it's the next sheet, the overview. Oh, sorry, one more. Again. I guess. One more. There we go. So. So the array, like the arrays in this area, so this is all.
So say you.
So there's the current owner, yes. Yeah.
So part of the decommission plans is say, okay, if we take out 100 trees, we have to replant 100 or we have.
No, the decommissioning plan is usually removal of the equipment.
Removal
So
of
it's
the
removal of
equipment,
the
replant
fence, removal of the equipment, removal of the poles, removal of all that stuff, right? And it's, I mean, it's grass, right? It'll be a grass
It'll
field,
be a grass field.
Right.
But, okay, but right now it's partially wooded.
right?
And the decommissioning plan as well is another item that would be subject to planning commission review. So it's something that the planning commission, they could say, well, we want to see X, Y.
Yeah. So you said it's partially cleared. So how much do you have to clear in order to put this in? How many,
How many acres of trees are being cut? So 16.4 acres is not it's not 16.4 acres of trees being cut. Is that what you're asking?
yeah, how much land do you have to actually clear in order to put these solar panels?
Right. I don't have that number. So it's 16.4 acres is the outline of the project, but a big chunk of that is already cut.
So the solar panels are whole 9.4 acres, basically.
Right.
And whatever.
Of panels.
Around that, or whatever you need to get around that. So
Right. So it's 9.4 acres panels, and then you get space between the panels and the fence. And then you also have stormwater controls and the fence is outside that.
How many acres is all that?
The fence is 12.7 acres.
So you're gonna clear 12, almost 13 acres of woods in order to put a fence.
A lot of that 13 acres is already cleared.
Out of how many?
It's the whole lot, when it's combined, is 116 acres. Right. Right.
Majority of this is 10 acres.
Out of 100, right. It's like 8% of the whole site.
But you're still gonna clear a lot of wood.
Right. Yep.
Or green in.
That is correct.
Now,
The zoning ordinance allows for clearing up to 15% of the site. And we are clearing no more than 8% of the site.
So you can't push it anywhere so you don't have to clear so much woods.
This is in the area that requires the least amount of clearing because there's so much that's already cleared.
As well as this is an area that when we went before the planning commission at pre-app, we had the arrays that much closer to Victory Highway. The planning commission said, well, we'd really like to see them push back. We push them back 1,200 feet off of the nearest public road.
you put it as far as possible.
Yes, that's correct.
do we have any more questions from the board?
I do.
Okay, do we have any questions from the audience? Anybody here like to speak in favor of this? Questions on it? Please come up. Please give your full name and address.
Lori Hinu, 135C Sharp Street, West
Okay.
Greenwich.
West Greenwich, okay. Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. In
Yes,
front
I
of this
do.
board, thank you.
Excuse me, can you please say, spell your name for the record?
Yes, Lauri, Heanue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My concern is the flora and fauna in the area. We've got tadpoles, we've got so many animals in this area, and they're gonna build it on the wetlands where they live. I don't get it. It makes no sense. We are right by a brook, and it goes right through our property, and that, what's gonna leak? You know, is there gonna be a leak if somebody gets angry and goes in and breaks the,
There's no liquid.
okay, and if they break open nothing, what do they consist of? In all honesty, I don't understand.
I'd have to let the experts, but we would, this is not the first system we've allowed in town.
Right.
Those same questions came up, and it's solid metal within there, so
Mhm.
it's not gonna leak on the ground.
Right.
Underneath is kept, vegetation is kept at a minimum, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, because no sunlight can get to it. So it's just gonna be all barren land.
Where are you in relation to this project?
Are
you in the butter?
Yes, we have 5 acres on Coventry side. I don't know what our lot number is. Right.
How far in Shop Street?
Let's see. You know,
You're not down by,
yes,
so that's a pretty.
This will
that's a
run right
pretty-
through our property, or the brook.
yeah. So we are,
You live on the road just before you're coming
Yes.
down, the road that's just before the pond.
The beautiful red
I
pond.
know
Yes.
you mean.
Correct.
yep,
We're
and we're
back.
back.
Yep, oh yeah, been in there.
Yeah.
We're lot number 30.
And like I said, my concern is the wildlife. My daughter homeschools. And she uses the area.
Our
you know.
animals do too.
Yeah, it concerns me. You know, I mean, everything that's green back there is gonna be dead. And then when they're done, you know, I'll be gone. But my daughter and her kids are gonna be there.
You better not be.
But, you know, they're gonna just take it up and leave. And what the heck have we got then? A big fat lot of, things grow back. I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Would you rather see 20 houses there or?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's just it. I don't want that either.
No.
You have to
But-
understand, one of the other things we're concerned with is, we're mandated by the federal government to, and not just us, but we have to come up with renewable energy, a great deal of a percentage of it by, I believe, 2026. So anything that we can do, I know people like to hear this, but the feds are pretty hot about
Yeah.
renewable energy.
I like the
Personally, I think
comment
the
about
solar-
the green energy.
Personally, I think a solar array is a lot easier to stomach than the windmill across the street.
I 100% agree with that. But
It's quiet, it's not desirable, it's a quiet use of the land.
My
I equate it to living next to the cemetery. You know, it's not that. most
That's not-
desirable,
It's not that quiet.
I do have a question. Oh, I'm sorry.
You have to revote.
My name is Rachel Tower. I also live at 135C Sharp Street.
Okay, you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you.
My concern is how close is this to the water that leads to our brook, which leads to our neighbor's pond, which leads to that beautiful red pond, which, what is what's going to happen to that water flow that goes to those other
The im-
very large water flows? We have a ton of wildlife, great blue herons, snapping turtles. I know there are beaver dams, things that are really good for the ecosystem. What's going to happen to those? What are the implications of this solar farm there? And like I said, we have animals too. So our animals use the brook. There's water. We have ducks. Our ducks use the water. Our chickens drink it. Our goats drink it.
I don't believe they can change the flow of the current.
So it's not going to affect the brook, the water?
Can't,
I,
we can't do that.
Is that something that can be changed in the future? I mean,
No.
listening to.
No, no, that's part of DEM.
that's right.
It's a good thing.
So, because I'm just trying to see, where, I just have a screenshot of what the property is, where the water is
Yeah, it
in
looks like
conjunction
it's-
with that. Is it
like it's
close?
right on it.
And I just also worry about, I understand some of the land is cleared, but what about the other animals that are living there that are now going to have to seek my property? And
There's a few hundred acres out there. Again,
If there's
these are-
water.
These are questions that we can ask them. They'll have the expert.
okay,
And I did have one other question regarding how they're going to use the influx of electricity. I've seen all of these solar farms built up in West Greenwich where they're tearing up the roads and laying the wires underneath and then going over it.
That's why I was asking that question. Yeah.
And they said, well, we're not there yet. Well, we can't approve things without seeing a clear, you know what I mean? A clear
Direction
road.
of path.
Not, well, we're not there
They'll
yet.
bring the power out to
Planning
the street and then it's, well.
Yeah.
Narragansett
Rhode
Electric's
Island.
gonna- They're gonna do it, but if you look next door, they're tied in overhead and it doesn't disturb 102 whatsoever, so. If I was a betting man, it would probably do the same thing, but I don't, don't hold me to that.
But what they're asking is, do they have to upgrade 102 or any of the
We don't have
areas?
that answer. He alluded to the fact that National Grid or whatever, the power company will determine what they need to do. Like
But
in the
they'd
bid,
like to know that ahead of time, what
Right.
will happen.
We don't have those answers.
So what they're saying is, how do we approve something without answers?
Right. That's,
Yeah, that would probably be more present planning board. So. Yes.
All right, just so they understand that, that's what they need to know. So,
and I wondered one last thing about a bond for cleanup. Is that something that they will be required to?
That again would be something.
Planning.
It actually is required when they submit, at the next stage, they will submit a decommissioning plan as well as a bond.
And that'll be at this meeting?
No, that's, they're here and,
Yeah, we didn't even know about it. So we got a thing about. the
right,
zoning.
so if, they're approved, they go back to planning. And then planning will make that stipulation. So this is the zoning, this is the special use permit process.
Right, fine.
Yep.
thank you for sending out the letter too.
Yeah, we would have been clueless.
I would suggest, like they say, go before the planning board,
Yeah,
go before the planning board,
yes.
when it comes up, but just call into the town. They'll
Okay,
tell you where that.
all right. Thank you for
that's very
listening.
important for you. Make sure you find out the information in the plan.
Yes, that's what we
Okay.
want.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in this app? Yes, ma'am, please come on. Give your
My
full
name
name
is
and address.
Carolyn Parkhurst. I live on 40E Victory Highway in
Okay.
West Greenwich, Rhode Island.
Okay. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you.
My concern is greatly for the environment. I moved to West Greenwich 30 years ago. I live on Ambrose Knight Road, even though my address is Victory Highway. It's a little dirt road that cuts through, used to be used as Shop Street. It cuts through right to Shop Street. I'm not even sure, I haven't not seen this plat map at all, so I don't even know where I am, what Ambrose Knight Road is. Before I get to questions. Yeah, I am, if I'm north, south, east, or west.
You're
side.
actually south. So here's the West Greenwich boundary.
Okay.
And then you're on the other side of the convent, correct? It goes off to the left, your little dirt road.
Yes, there's not a.
Yeah, so you're. Yep. So here, So approximately, this is the line. Sure. So here's 102, we're heading south. Yep, so you have this last property in Coventry. This is approximately where the West County Animal Hospital is. That's Dayton's, that's that long driveway. Correct. They have this little driveway. Yep, and then there's, the convent or, and then you're shortly there. So. No, you're not. Correct. You're a butter.
I'm shocked that I'm going to West County.
Well, because you fall into a 2,000-foot radius from this property. So the way the radius map works, you get generated, you go out 2,000 feet, and that's why. Well, anyway,
But to really know. Across the street and
correct. Yep.
Hope to see
Mm-hmm.
the sawmill, the one at the kind of sawmill.
Yep.
Right out the side
Mm-hmm.
of my house.
Yep.
Leave my house. Yeah.
She-
It
she-
puts me in my mind.
I'm sorry?
She needs to be approved.
Okay.
I needed a diagram. I feel like I can look right out the window and see the turbine that is right across from the sawmill. And I know that driveway there, now that I know where they're putting this, and that's the road, that abandoned road, and there's like a big house in there, it always looks abandoned. That's the one. That's close. I mean, once you get up into Ambrose Night, me and my neighbors on that little dirt road, it makes a turn. They got an easement and there's two more houses. It's close. We're really close to Coventry. So the impact that and the sounds that I got when Bayton did 20 acres, I may be wrong with the numbers, but it was loud and they had to pound out the ledge. It was excruciating. I couldn't believe the disturbance, and it's beautiful. The whole area is just beautiful. That's why we all live there. I agree. I'd rather not see more homes. They go to, children go to school and taxes go up. I get that. But the displacement of wildlife, the vegetation, habitat, the amount of wildlife that will show up in people's yards, like bears and stuff, they get displaced. You've got that. I'm concerned about the water too, but the noise is just hideous. Nobody talks about that. They have to pound those things into the ground. I'm sure you're gonna hit ledge because it's all the same topography.
But I don't think they gotta go that far down.
Well, that's what we heard
And-
over at Dayton's, and that's literally like,
I
I
mean,
can
they're
walk
only-
through the woods
they're
and see
only-
that.
The support, I'll bring the engineer up here, but those support pieces for the panels, I'm gonna say cannot be any more than 4 feet. No. So, and that'd be astronomical. I think it's lucky if it's a foot or two. So I don't really believe that and plus, once it's built, I don't know of any noise that it would make. once it's
What,
built.
Solar panels don't make any noise.
No, I know. And you know what? At Dayton, Mr. Dayton, you don't hear anything there, but I mean, a lot of things were displaced and it was, horrific. The sound went on and on. What I was trying to figure out is, we're in West Greenwich and this is proposed for Coventry. Was there a number as far as how much, footage before you were notified? Like some neighbors might not have been notified. Was there?
2,000 feet.
Okay, so 2,000 feet of the whole 116 acres, so in other words,
Correct.
that 116 acres is right there. Let's just say that was my.
2,000 feet on the outskirts.
Then you have to do what, 40 feet of buffer before you can, did I hear you said that's about 40 feet of buffer?
Yeah, please, yes. Direct
Ma'am,
the
you have to
questions.
I'm sorry, yeah.
That's okay.
40 feet of buffer. Did I hear that correctly? Around the solar panels?
That's within the whole operation, 40 feet. That's within they gotta have 40 feet of a buffer zone
Okay,
within it,
around the arrays.
around the race. So
And the
that's not,
or the fence in the arrays.
right.
Okay. And was it only 9.5, say, round up to 10 acres?
10
Out of
acres. of-
160,
Yes.
116?
Yes,
Yeah, that
yes.
includes everything.
That was a big question.
Okay, and how much of that 10 acres, I'll round up, is already cleared? Like, is it how much more do they have to clear?
We've already discussed that. It's unclear as to right now.
Okay,
Majority of it is already clear.
because that's a noisy, that's horrific, too. So only if you were 1,000 feet away, more than 1,000 feet away, that's why some people get certified letters.
Within 2,000.
Within 2,000 feet of the project.
2,000.
360 degrees. Anybody that owned land got registered. letters.
Okay, and was that right to the plate, up to the circumference of the 116 acres?
Where are you going with this question? then?
Trying to figure out how far away 2,000 feet is to the actual desecration of the area.
Obviously,
Because
it's
it-
all the way down to Shop Street, so it's way past your house.
And, that's where a lot of mountain laurel and all that, and there's a lot of water there. That's the other thing, is like, it's all wetland.
Understand that
Where?
2,000 feet that's the distance, so we make sure that everybody knows what's going on. It has nothing to do with the project.
If you would, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, because you do it, you measure
You
it.
do it all the time, so
Yeah.
it'd be better off for you to answer the question.
If you would like to give me your contact information, I would have no problem emailing you an abutters map. And what that does is will show you in red from that property how far 2,000 feet is, if that would clear up any confusion. Okay?
That would be helpful.
Okay.
If I'm wasting time here, but this is my first time.
Well, you're not wasting time.
I mean, I got my two
You got your
letters, but unfortunately, I had a death in the family in April, so I wasn't here. I would have been vocal and wanted to know more about
Well, this is the first hearing we've had.
what I thought I heard. They got this thing
Our
approved.
hearing, this is
Our
our
hearing.
hearing for zoning board.
Zoning.
Planning heard it first.
Oh, planning heard
And
it.
there's
So,
two more
that-
meetings with
but
planning.
I got that letter and I wasn't able to make it, 'cause I was.
But there's 2 more meetings up here.
All right.
That's why I said, yeah,
Go to the planning, because that's where you hear a lot of shit. Make sure you go there.
it's very
Okay,
important.
And you're
for the-
gonna state what that date is, correct?
Well, if you call in, I don't know if you know each other. but
No, we don't. That's,
If you call in, they'll tell you information from. Yeah, you can call.
Before you leave tonight, ask Carrie, she'll
I
get.
feel like I'm the only one on my little dirt road that showed up and I don't, it's, I just lived through it once. It changed everything.
So what I have here is a copy of the abutters map. This is the property in Coventry. And you can see this in kind of entails the 2,000 feet. Yep. And then because the rest of the 2,000 feet is in a different town, I'm unfortunately not able to draw the circle, but these are all the properties that are located in West Greenwich that fall within the 2,000 feet of that radius.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. But what I was trying to say is the 9.4 acres that the solar arrays and the fencing is going to sit. Is that like dead in the center of the 116 acres or is it?
It's on the map right there. You can see that map on the being displayed.
It's kind of in the middle. It's more towards the deeper end than it actually is towards the middle. Right of center and then a little bit down from the top.
I'd say the best thing, all your questions and future questions would be answered at the planning board.
But the company has to put, to replace trees or they.
Again, that's gonna be answered at the planning.
All right,
Okay.
there's more to go then.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on this application? Please come up, sir. Please give your full name and address.
James M. Falvey, 99 Victory Highway, West Greenwich.
Okay, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you.
There's no liquid in the solar panels at all? Is that right? Is that what we're saying? Okay. Do you know if there were any toxic characteristics, leaching processes done? Can you answer that?
No, you
You're
have
gonna
to
ask-
direct it to us.
Oh, okay. I would like that answered. Are and where are the inverters gonna be in the solar field? I guess I have to again.
Can somebody write this down so we can ask the question?
Yep.
Please. He's got a list. so.
It won't be too much more.
No, it's okay. It's not a problem.
All right. Kerry already had a list. I had paid her a visit. Okay, yeah, so I'm wondering if the toxic characteristics leaching process was analyzed, if it was done. Where the inverters are, because they are noisy, by the way. You think there's no noise to panels, but there are. It's the inverters that make the noise, okay? And West Greenwich, it was unhappy where they let them put inverters. And it was only 65 feet back from the road, and they are noisy. It's constant too, because that's how the system works. Also, I'm gonna read something I pulled off the internet. It is from, give me a second, Energy Matters LLC, and they're pro solar. But I just want to read something they have there. Solar panels are touted as being safe to have around crops. However, this claim is misleading. It's not uncommon for the glass panels to become cracked or broken due to natural events like storms. When rain falls on the broken solar panel, it carries lead and other metals like carcinogenic cadmium, copper, or aluminum down to the soil below. Over time, polluted soil is washed into nearby water sources, streams, lakes, and wells. I have a shallow well, 11102. I'm concerned.
And this survey was done by who?
This is Energy Matters LLC. You can look at it on the internet too.
When was this done?
I'm sorry, I don't have the year that this was done, but it was done, I think, after 2010. Okay, so obviously I'm concerned about the water level, the water table, I mean, because there's an aquifer in the area. If it leaks, gets into the water system. What am I gonna do? You know, I would be concerned. So those are just a couple of things. And, okay, so
Everything else?
I think that's about it.
If you do have anything else, please direct it to the administration so they can direct it to the planning.
Okay. Also, I don't think I received a certified letter to the planning board, from the planning board.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't?
I don't think. I
Did
don't-
they send out certified letters for the planning?
That has
Yes,
nothing to
I
do with
believe it's a less radius. It is what, the zoning that has a larger radius. So you might not have fallen.
So I here I am notified after the planning board already saw the plan and approved it, and now I'm here after the fact, when I could have voiced my opinion then, which
Correct.
doesn't make sense to me.
Two different boards, two different towns.
But my point being is that
Yes.
if I
in
got the
paper.
notice on one because I'm close within the 2,000-foot radius, why didn't I get a note on the planning board? It sounds like something that should be straightened out, right? Yeah,
But
you
not
think?
here. I mean,
Oh,
we're-
oh, no, no, no,
We went further. I mean,
Okay,
downtown,
right.
around here, it's 200 feet.
And,
200 feet.
wait,
not
quick.
2,000.
I got you. Why is it 2,000 feet, by the way?
One of our previous council members had changed the ordinance approximately 2016, 2017.
Did the 2,000 feet have anything to do with something I read where you should have, if you have a commercial solar field, that houses shouldn't be within a certain amount of footage? Which is another question to. I'm sorry. I know, I kind of feel like I just like a simple question answered.
My recollection of why it was changed is because that particular councilwoman, from the west end of town, was very concerned because, like you said, there are some people that have huge lots of land, so you'd have a project that's come under consideration, you have like 4 people that could talk about it, because it was only 200 feet. So she got it changed to 2,000 feet in that end of town. So had nothing to do with solar farms or anything along. It was just
Well,
about making sure that everybody.
right.
knew.
I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to something else I read. And I don't have that paper. I didn't print that because, well, I only printed a little bit, I guess. But there's something about houses or wells should be so many feet from a commercial solar panel farm.
We don't have.
So I'd like to know if there's any number from,
That would be
Question
something
be asked.
DEM, I would think, would.
well, I mean, if the town is approving it, I think that you can't ask DEM for that. DEM, I mean, you guys should already know if you're going to approve something like that, that it should be a certain amount of footage.
Excuse me, it's DEM that governs wells and septic. They are
Yeah,
the,
no
Okay, but the connection to how far away from solar fields, they should also govern that then?
well, I can't base something on what they should or shouldn't do.
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is, we're not responsible for the regulations of wells and sewer, septic. It's DEM that regulates that.
We don't have the expertise.
Okay, all right, maybe I should rephrase it. Yeah, maybe I'll rephrase. If you're gonna, if you are going to approve something like this and the possibility of, if there is an incident where there is leakage, don't you think that it might be beneficial for the planning board to say, well, you know, you really should have this much land if you're gonna put this in case something happens?
Again, sir, we're
I
not
know.
the planning board.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you got good ideas.
Yeah, that's my point.
After this meeting, you can go to the planning board meeting.
And express just what you're saying.
Yeah.
Say what these ladies said, you
Yeah.
gotta go to the planning.
Yeah.
This is only the beginning stages of this project.
I realize that. Okay, so the lawyer for the organization said that it was already approved by the planning board.
First step.
Okay, so can you explain how the steps work?
Second step is here, third step and fourth step is back with them.
Okay, so can I get notification for that
No.
next meeting?
No, because you don't live in town, but
If he,
you don't live close. I'm not, you live in town, you don't live close, but Terry can easily give you the date.
All the planning commission dates, actually, all the meeting dates for the towns are listed on the town website.
that's correct.
So the next meeting for the planning board will involve this plan or not?
I don't believe we have a preliminary date set. So my best suggestion would be to just, check the monthly planning commission calendar.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Thank you. Is there anybody else like to speak on this application? Is there anybody online that wants to speak? Yep. Please.
Please unmute, please.
I couldn't hear over this.
I wasn't talking.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mr. Boyd,
Yes.
go ahead.
So I wanted to provide some historical background on the parcel to the rear to explain why there is a large cleared field. There was a big forest fire on that property sometime, I believe, in the late 60s, early 70s. The canopy of pines is still there, but if you walk the property, there's a lot of blueberry bushes, low blueberry bushes, which grow in that type of soil. Part of the reforestation that occurred naturally was a lot of oak trees that were substandard.
Mr.
And
Chairman,
we
you need to
worked-
swear the witness.
All right.
Oh, go
Mr.
ahead.
Blaze,
Yes.
in order to swear you in, though, I gotta be able to see you.
Hold on. I don't know how to use this camera stuff. Hang on.
Hang on a second, Leo. They're gonna do a little magic on this side.
Okay.
Oh, he's the owner?
Okay, okay. How's that?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to, the board to acknowledge that this is, Mr. Blaze is actually an owner of the property.
Okay, thank you.
So
Excuse me.
after the
Excuse me,
forest.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
I still gotta be able to see you.
Still can't
Well,
see you.
you said you're gonna work some magic. I'm waiting for the magic.
If
Hang,
I
hang,
may.
hang on, Leo, hang on.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ardenti, you say that Mr. Blaze is the owner of the property. There are two owners listed, Mukau LLC and Nara LLC.
He's the member of, Mr. Blaze, can you comment on which?
Mukau LLC, which is the back piece.
In order to be sworn in, Mr. Blaze, you're gonna have to turn on your camera. I don't know if that's possible for you.
Any idea how I do that?
There should be a camera looking button on the bottom left of your screen.
Hang on. Hang on, start video. Hold on.
Oh, there you go. You got
How's
it.
that?
Yes. You're good, Leo. We can see you.
That work?
Yep. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Just talk, just hold it in front of you and talk. Right, you don't.
There you go.
Should be able to
Just stay
hear us.
right there.
You hit the volume button on the side of your phone too, if you want.
You can stay right there, sir.
Yeah.
You're good, Leo.
Okay.
Right there.
Full name and address, please, for the record.
Leo R. Blaze, 40 Bank Street, Coventry, Rhode Island, 02816.
You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, what would you like to bring up for questions or?
So after the forest fire that happened in the 60s and 70s, there was a natural reforestation of the land. The property was placed into farm forest and open space, and we retained a registered forester to help us decide what's the best way of improving the land. And he recommended that we clear cut that large section upon which now the solar array is going to occupy the majority. The reason for that is that the oak trees were in soil that was not really suited for them to grow into normal oak trees. They're very slow growing, and there was no benefit to the property with them remaining. So that's why the land was clear cut. To answer Mrs. Henu's piece, DEM came out and marked and flagged all the wetlands after a land use engineer came out. And it's our intention to minimize any environmental impacts with this project. The first iteration of how best to use the piece that we're on would be to put in, I forget the number, 12 or 14 house lots in a cluster zoning piece. That would generate 12 to 14 septic systems and 12 to 14 wells on a limited aquifer. So that was one of the driving reasons that my wife and I decided to approach EDRP and related companies to move towards a solar facility, which has minimal impact environmentally, doesn't impact the schools, generating the need to add on or build a new school, minimizes septic leakage into the groundwater, and then possibly contaminating Mr. Falvey's shallow well. And for the young lady, I didn't get her name, there's going to be some noise while you're constructing, but once the system is done, solar panels are quiet. Inverters make noise, but I think they're going to be far enough away based upon the size of the entire project in its entirety, that's not going to be an issue for the abutters. I've been a resident of Coventry going on 61 years. I've been always vocal about maintaining the quality of life, especially in the western end. being environmentally responsible. And I think this project is going to go a long way to meeting those needs. There are going to be some inconveniences while we're building, but I think the short inconvenience of construction will be more than outweighed by the impact it has to making our economy more reliant on renewable energy. And the size of both pieces together is 116 acres. So I don't see a lot of wildlife displacement because the rest of the property going all the way back up towards Shop Street is going to remain untouched. And we'll continue to monitor this as it goes through the process, but it's my intention to be a good neighbor and to make sure that the concerns that were raised tonight are answered, and the experts before you, I'm sure, can research those pieces and have them when we go to the planning board for the next episode. I want to thank you for your time and attention to this, and we look forward to continuing the dialogue as the application process moves forward.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Blaze.
thank you. Okay, if you have, do we have anybody else who would like to speak on this application? Online.
Mention at some point, I'm gonna say several months ago, I was on my bicycle riding down 102 on the bike path on 102. I saw some surveyors. On my way back, they were still surveying, and what they were doing to the right and the left, heading north from my dirt road, was marking trees with orange flags and wrap and spray paint. And they did it all the way down, I don't know, past maybe up to the soil.
For what reason was this?
So I asked them because I just, it was two gentlemen and they were surveying. And then they were marking trees all the way down from right at the corner of Ambrose Knight, which is my road, all the way further north down past the sawmill.
Both sides of the road?
Yes, both sides. Yeah,
For
because I
what
noticed
reason?
that too. And and they said, well, there's like 157 acres somewhere in Coventry that they're selling. And I'm like, well, who are you working for? And they said, well, we're here for the state of Rhode Island. The state of Rhode Island has commissioned us to come and it mark off all like the property lines, like the people that live, I guess, on.
Well, we'd
Victory
have to
Highway
have,
That, I guess we're impacted by that piece of land.
I'm only catching hearsay from you. That's all I'm catching. I don't quite understand what you.
I don't understand what you don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, I'm just telling you what happened. So I stopped and asked them, and they asked them who they represented. They said they worked for the state of Rhode Island, and they just marked all those trees because that land was being sold. You don't? Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
because at the same time, it was the same timeline. That's why. Okay, so when they were marked, so you don't know anything about why they were on, because it's a
No.
state road, Victory Highway, so.
We wouldn't know that. We would not.
You would not know that, or you would know that?
We would not.
You would not know that. Oh, okay. It was, I don't know if it's. a
That
coincidence.
information is not given to us. Everything we do is strictly on the application that's in front of us. In general, we do not get general information.
Okay, but I mean, I'm not making that up. That actually happened.
Okay,
and
I
was
believe
like-
it.
And then all of a sudden, got the certified letters, stating about the proposal.
Okay,
So I just assumed that it had something to do with the state was mandating the sale of land or whatever, putting the solar. I made my own assumption at that point.
okay. Thank you. All right, does anybody else like to speak on this? Sure. Can you, engineer, please come up?
And or the. No, you don't understand. I told you to get up there. No, just kidding.
No, you have it. Wrote down.
Yes, I did. Yes, I do.
Could you?
Um,
could you ask
so-
questions for us?
Are the inverters in the solar fields, are they noisy? Are they water cooled? How are the inverters constructed?
I don't remember that being a question. question.
And where are they?
It was kind of, right.
The locations and the noise, you're right. So the locations haven't been determined. This is a concept plan for special use permit and master plan, right? So that's part of the electrical design that will come later. The inverters is what makes noise, the inverters and the equipment pad. That's where the noise comes from.
And they're gonna be in the proximity of the solar.
They'll be
array,
within
right?
the array, right?
So
So
they're,
they
gonna be quite a bit off the street.
far from the property lines.
What we call far,
The-
how far?
They will not,
The equipment pad is on the front.
yeah, the conceptual equipment pads are shown in the drawing. They're up along the north. There's two of them we're showing there. And then the inverters are usually spread out throughout the array,
And
but it
those
depends on how the electrical
inverters
design is.
Give sound off to how far away?
It's a low. home.
Right, but I still want.
It depends on the equipment, depends on the noise study. But usually you're looking at like 30 feet or something. It's not anywhere near the distance
See, I
that we
get
have,
the
we
impression
have in
of
there.
the other people that the inverters make a noise for a good couple hundred feet,
No,
no,
I don't agree with that.
not even 100 feet.
If you're standing near it,
No.
you can hear it,
100
but
feet
you get away
from
from it, no.
you're
And
not
and
gonna hear it.
especially with the vegetation that's surrounding it.
If there is no vegetation, can you hear it within 100 feet?
I would say no. And again, if the planning board asks for a noise study, we can do a noise study and model it, but we do it all the time. And there's the sound, especially around the inverter. I mean, it's usually stays within the array itself.
Did the planning board ask for it?
They have not, no.
Yeah, I want to know specifically how far the noise travels.
There's no specific answer I can give you because we don't have the specific equipment design yet. We haven't done the specific model. It's not a
That'd be more
it's
for
not
the
a
planning
general.
board. I know you want
it's
the
a-
answer, but that's more the planning boards.
I can give you a general answer. I can't give you a specific answer to something that we don't have specific information on. So I can tell you that generally speaking, solar projects, the noise when you model it barely goes beyond the fence, definitely not to the property line.
Okay, the other question was, I believe,
Let her
Leach.
ask the question. She's got it down there.
What is the impact of the leaching and and on the water tables?
Yeah. Right.
Toxic leaching analysis, the reference.
Right. Again, so generally speaking, these aren't designed yet. The panels are solid. It's electronic. I mean, it's electronic equipment, right? It's like a laptop or a TV or something. There's no liquid in there. We can provide data sheets to the planning board if they ask for it, that explains how they're built and what's in them. There's been, some manufacturers have, the tests of, if it gets crushed and what's the leachability, and generally there's, it shows nothing, and, we can provide that information if we need to at planning.
And
They're crystalline, I mean, they're crystalline
but
panels.
on top of that, the monitoring system is if one of those with the break, you'll instantly know that.
Yeah, they don't want broken,
No,
if
what I'm
they're
saying
broken,
is,
they're losing
so if
power,
they
so they
see
would fix
if
it.
They see a crack or whatever.
Right.
Not only they're gonna lose a problem, they're gonna know what row and what section and exactly what panel it
Right.
is. That's the way it was explained to us when they did the ones up in Western Coventry, because fire department was very,
Hmm.
wanted to know a lot of questions.
Right.
Because with metals, you get leach. I'm a machinist by trade, so, you break a panel like that inside, and that metal starts to leach, you could get hazardous waste, but maybe you can't, but I don't know. I don't know what's inside the panel.
Right. Yeah, they're solid, they're crystalline panels, they're solid panels.
To date,
I have a,
recently, there haven't been any problems, correct?
I have
Told you I'd get you up to-
another project, another client, so I don't want to get too much into the details, but it is at a water department. Right, so it's a water department where there are water wells that serve the community, and the array's on that property, right? So there is no concern with contamination in groundwater. I know there's some people pull things from the internet, and I don't know what the source is or where that
Well,
stuff
that's-
comes
that's
from, or
obviously-
how old it is, or what kind of panels you're looking at.
No, they wouldn't print it on the internet if it wasn't real.
But, but I can tell you that these things are put on public water supplies.
I think that was it, was it?
Yeah.
Just a few questions.
Yeah.
That was the only question?
Yes.
there was some question, well,
Go ahead.
I mean, it was basically, I kind of blanketed the first question, like, for instance, they wanted to know if it was air cooled versus liquid because of the noise level and stuff like that. So when I asked the first question, it was kind of a combination of his first.
Sneaky.
there were questions about the wildlife too, which, you know, I'm happy to address in the wetlands. Because those are good questions. There's setbacks to the wetlands that DEM, you know, regulates. So these are all without, you know, the array itself is outside the setbacks. This application is going to go to DEM. They're going to review all that. We did flag all the wetlands. So nothing's in the wetlands itself. The road is going through some buffer, but nothing through a wetland. We are submitting this to DEM as an application to alter so that they have more information than they will probably need, so they can do that full review and decide. It's an
How
alter.
much further are you extending the present driveway to your site? Or does it go there all the way, does it go all the way there? now?
That's a good question. It's a little difficult to answer. The existing driveway, there's kind of a trail that goes through the wetland to the array. We're not using that because it goes through the wetland.
Okay,
So that existing driveway will be
abandoned.
not used anymore. And the road itself will go between the wetlands so that it's actually less disturbance than there's out there now. And another thing I want to address, because of the size of the site, we wanted you to be able to actually see the array. So we're zoomed in. You don't actually see the rest of the property. So that extends quite a distance back to the right. So it's, you know, all those sheets we were clicking
Oh, the
through
street-
before,
the-
all the survey, like it keeps going back.
The trees come right up to the edge of 102. You can't see in there.
Right.
And if you were going too fast, you'll drive right by the driveway. so.
Right.
So it's about in the middle of the property.
It's
Pretty close.
about,
Well,
yeah.
you look at it and the edge of the screen is pretty much.
But the edge of the screen's not the right property line. That's what I'm saying, is it keeps going back. It keeps going past it.
Okay,
That's not the edge of the property.
Right.
so it's even bigger now. That's
It's,
even
yeah,
better.
it's huge.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have anybody else who'd like to speak on this application? Yes, sir. Let her know she's in the meeting.
You have to speak into your mic.
Your mic's gotta be on, if that's what you're asking. Real Blaze.
Leo, you got something else you want to say, bud? I'm sorry?
Miriam.
Miriam?
Yeah, Nicole. Nicole? Miriam.
Marion, can you turn your phone on and your
Camera?
camera, please? If you'd like to speak. No.
Maybe not.
Video. Yeah.
There you go. That's better. Can you turn your camera on? I've been told it's in the bottom corner,
Left-hand corner.
left-hand corner, little thing looks like a camera.
Back to Leo.
Maybe not. Connecting.
She may have disconnected herself by mistake. Oh, maybe.
I'm trying. I'm sorry, can you see me now?
No.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Can't see me yet?
Nope.
No.
Not yet.
All right. I'm sorry. Video. Don't be. Yeah. Can I?
Now we can't hear you.
DK?
Marion, are you mobile or you at home? Because your voice keeps fading in and out.
Yes,
Still don't have anything.
I'm laptop. I Get this. So I apologize.
Oh,
Kind of got.
we kind of
Okay.
got you now. Well, we got like a still shot of you, but go ahead and talk.
It's buffering.
Sounds like you got a bad connection. We have a picture, but it's frozen. And we can't hear you talking anymore, so.
Have me now?
Nope,
Nope.
nothing's changed.
Sorry.
We just have a still picture of you here. with
I
glasses.
tried.
Oh, that's a better picture, but it moved only a little bit. Where are you calling from?
Put your hand up.
Oh,
There you go.
oh, I think we got
There you
something.
go.
here.
Hand up.
Put your hand up. Put your right hand up and we're gonna swear you in. Go ahead, Bob.
Please give your full name and address for the record.
Nope, you must have muted yourself. There's a poor connection, but.
You've got a
Poor
really,
connection.
really poor connection. We just, everything's buffering. We're going like still pictures, one after the other after the other. Can you, no, I don't know what to tell you because that's beyond my capabilities. I'm not very media savvy.
Yeah.
What,
Say again?
what I'd like to recommend is this young lady go to the planning board in person and actually represent anything she has to say at the planning board. Hello, Marion? Obviously, this communication is not working.
Mary, we're gonna, do you, hey, tech guy. I don't know what your name is. Cody, can you, oh, like I'm supposed to know that.
No, he's not like Scotty on the Enterprise. So the problem.
I copped and I got that all. We're gonna, now, do you want her to disconnect or something you can do? If you can hear me, if you can hear us, if you could just disconnect from the system and then try to reboot it one more time, we'll see if we can bring you into the meeting. It's the best we can do for you. Thank you.
Please give your full name and address just for the record.
Lori Hinu, 135C Sharp Street.
Okay.
Since the solar farm beneath us went in, we've been inundated with rats all the way up to Weaver Hill. And we've also been inundated with bunnies. I mean, they're really cute, but we have no more predators. I don't know where the predators have gone. And
Where's the
it's,
solar farm below you?
where is the solar farm below us? Is that where it is? Because we heard it going in. It was ridiculous.
Oh, that's right next door to this.
Oh, see, there you go.
They're not, it's not behind you. It's-
Okay.
It's on 102.
So it's to the,
If you were looking,
Left of
if you're
me.
looking at the animal hospital, you know where that is?
yes, I've been there.
Right behind it.
Okay. When that went in, what, about 3-4 years ago? Is that about it? We've been, like I said, inundated with rats, inundated with rabbits. Yes, I'm telling you.
No, I.
Rats and rabbits actually have been attributed to the weather. We did have a huge challenge dealing with those two varmints last year. And it had to do with all the rain we had in the spring of 2022.
Okay, this has been going on for about 3 years.
Right, I mean, but it's a little bit of a carryover, but yeah, it's more so weather related than anything.
Yeah, we don't see the foxes anymore. We don't see any of the predators, so. Well, we'll see.
Cody, you want to try it again or? Okay, Marion, if you can unmute and try to turn your camera back on, we'll give it another shot.
How about now?
Well,
I can hear you.
we can hear you. We have a picture of you, but it's not live. It's a still
Yes,
shot.
it did.
Raise your hand
Oh,
and we're gonna have you, we're gonna swear you in.
No.
Well, it might,
okay.
but the camera's frozen, so
There you go. There you go.
you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth before this board? So help you God.
I do.
Okay. What would you like to
do,
tell us?
And you
She
have my
needs to-
address still?
Yes, please state your last name and your address. for
I
the
ac-
record.
Actually live a half a mile from a
Marion, we
Cohen,
need-
Cohdn.
Marion, if you can hear me, we need your full
And
name
my
and address.
address is 574. Yes. Miriam Cohen, 574 Gravelly Hill Road, South Kingstown, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And I was just going to say that I live a half mile from a farm. I walk my dogs by it every day. I am in the country and I have not been inundated by animals. And I am not bothered by noise, and their houses are closer than most of the abutters that have spoken today. I have pictures from their driveways looking at the solar farm in under 2,000 feet, and they are not impacted adversely. And so I just want to add some calm to the fact that the farm is not going to be detrimental. And just to read that the farm is part of all the panels working. So as it was noted, if break, they would be notified and fix it, please, so that everything that we are, they're working towards is actually achieved. And that was all I wanted to share.
Okay,
Okay, thank you very much.
okay. We all set now? I would like to have this continued to the next monthly meeting. July 5th, 2023. Do I have a motion for such? No motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Lenny. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. And this will be continued to next month. Thank you. I'll go to, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Motion to adjourn is approved.
Who seconded the motion to adjourn? Thank you.